Hello, everyone. Welcome to GA's Tea Time. We discuss all things General Hospital. If you haven't already, please hit the bell notification. The like and subscribe really helps the channel. And I want to send a special thank you for everybody that has already subscribed. So, guys, let's get our teacups, let's get our snacks, and let's get ready to discuss our favorite characters. General Hospital Daily Recap, Monday, March 16th, 2026. So, guys, we had a bunch of folks in this episode. We had some Sonny and Jason, some Molly, some Stella. So, let's see what our favorite bunch of characters are up to. Jason had stopped by to tell Sonny his plans with Brett, that he was going to leave town with Brett because he was like, Cullum, and said, well, I want this machine thing or whatever that thing is that Brett is working on. Done right away. So in a couple of days it would be completed. So he was like, we can't do that. So we out. So Sonny was like, yo, Cullum is WSB. He's gonna have the whole WSB looking for him. So Jason was like, I already got that planned and covered. He was like, once we leave, he said, I'm taking Cullum out. He said, Cullum has to go. So Sonny's only concern was like he said make it clean. He was like make it not, so it doesn't come back on him and stuff like that. And Jason was like, no, I understand. So that was basically it for that conversation. And he was just kind of letting Sonny, saying his goodbyes and that he'll keep him updated. You know, once it's already clear to come back, he'll come back. Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel. Well, Jordan and Portia was continuing that conversation they were having. And Portia was just like, are you pregnant? And Jordan was like, this is none of your business. And Portia was like, what do you mean it was none of my business? It was none of her business, Jordan, when she confronted Portia about being pregnant and then ran off and told Curtis. So, Portia was great about that because she was like, you know what? She was like, unlike you, I'm not going to go tell Curtis. Look, if that was me, I would have called Curtis from that nail salon. I'm telling you, I would have been like, you know what? But anyway, Portia didn't do that. She walked out and then she went back to the hospital. At the hospital, she kind of was banging around in her office. Isaiah was there, and Isaiah was like, "Is everything okay?" And she was just like, can you believe that Jordan is pregnant?" And then she was just like, and she had the nerve to tell me it's none of my opinion, none of my business. And Isaiah kind of was like, what? He's like, he couldn't believe that. He was like, kind of basically she was all in Portia's stuff and telling Curtis. But at the end of everything, Portia was kind of like, I'm not going to tell Curtis nothing. She was like, we had a good space. And she was like, I don't want to be involved in that. I want to just keep everything cordial like it's been. Isaiah had a little bit of a, he thought he was kind of worried that Portia was jealous, and then he asked her, and Portia was like, "No, she's not jealous. She's just more upset because the hypocrisy of everything with Jordan's responses and stuff like that." So Isaiah was his mind was put at ease, and they seem to be. I guess they're gonna wait for when everything blows up, but they'll see what happens with this storyline. So Stella left Curtis. She didn't tell Curtis that she found that pregnancy test, and look. I know Stella got the best intentions. She want to make sure everybody's okay. But her calling Jordan like that and like, look, I insist. I need to see you. You need to come down here to the hospital. This is none of her business at all. So she gets Jordan down to the hospital and basically is like, are you pregnant? And then Jordan was like, were you snooping through my stuff? And she's like, no, but I found it. And she's like, what you gonna do about this baby? You think about getting rid of it? This is none of her business. I like Stella, but she is overstepping. Anyway, Jordan was telling her she's concerned because she was like, because of her health, she may have to get rid of this baby. Bringing the baby to term is not good for herself or the baby. So, Stella was like, are you going to tell Curtis? And here we go. We already started with the lies because you know how this guy is. He's OD. She need to be telling him now because he going to probably hold this little bit against her. But anyway, she went and took the pregnancy test. So I guess hopefully we'll find out tomorrow she's not pregnant because I really, really don't want to see this. I think this is beyond ratchet. Having these two women pregnant at the same time is just a no. I just don't, please just don't do this. But anyway, I would love to know what you think about that down in the comment section because I don't think this is a good idea making these two pregnant at the same time. But anyway, we'll see her results of the pregnancy test hopefully today. Trina stopped by to see Curtis, and while she was there, Curtis told her that he moved in with Jordan, and she was a little shocked by this because she was just like, oh, okay, but she said she was good with it. I'm a little shocked because it's been 2 days. I think it's a little weird that he moved in that fast. Okay, maybe 2 months, but he didn't wait. He just moved right in. But anyway, that's me. Um, Anyway, so, you know, Trina did say something that was really interesting. She was kind of like, she's a little jealous of the baby because the baby gets to be raised by Curtis, like from, birth to adulthood, that she missed out on that. But what I find that I know Taggart is not her real father. Curtis is her real father. But she had a good childhood growing up. She thought that Taggart was her father. He did all the fatherly things, all the events and everything like that. So she wasn't missing out on anything as far as that goes. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But I think that I get it kind of, but then I don't. But anyway, Trina did say that, but she did say she's really excited about the baby coming. So that was good on that aspect. Jacinda and Michael were down at the gay house, and this gay house has become like Grand Central Terminal, right? I mean, so many people are down there, but anyway, they were alone, and we got a little bit of Jacinda's backstory. And she was basically saying, like, she was kind of one of those I know everything kind of people because she was concerned about Charlotte. And she was like, Charlotte thinks she knows everything and stuff like that. And she was like, Charlotte reminds her of herself because she thought she knew everything, and then she got caught up with some older man, and then she didn't have no money, and then after that she wound up being an escort because she needed to survive. So Michael was like, look, you did what you had to do to survive. I'm glad Michael was understanding to her. I do like these two as a couple. I've been seeing online that people have been trying to say that Christina might be falling for Jacinda, and they might be starting to compete with her brother for Jacinda's. I don't want to see that. Okay, not at all. I like Michael and Jacinda together. I think they make a cute couple. I hope they don't do that. But that was a side note. Anyway, so they get it on down there, have some sexy time. They could have locked the door down. I will say that since it's becoming Grand Central Station. But nobody walked in on them. Later they was, thinking about going for round two. And then we had an Olivia sighting, which I can't believe it. I haven't seen Olivia in months. So anyway, Olivia comes down there and she was like, oh, she's looking for her son's retainer. And they found it, but after that it was so weird because um Olivia goes, he could have came in here, one of the kids could have came in here, Michael's son could have came in here, you should be more careful. So Michael was like, hey, next time I'll just lock the door. And then Olivia is like, "Ugh, is that the answer to this?" I'm like, I don't know what she's saying. I'm confused because I'm like, Michael's a grown man, Jacinda is an adult. Lock the door or go upstairs to the bedroom. Were you saying he shouldn't be with her? I don't. Maybe Olivia's looking down on Jacinda. I don't know what that was about. Please somebody inform me. But I think she was overstepping with that. Michael and her in a relationship together. That is Michael's business. They could be more cautious. You don't want the kids just walking in on things, but that comment afterwards was strange to me. Ezra came to visit Laura because he wanted to see if Laura pushed through Sidwell's plan for that heliport to be on his property. So Laura was like, it's not right because it's going to be a disturbance to the community, and but she did push it through. But Ezra was like, look, we got to do what we got to do. But Ezra did tell a little bit of his story, and he was like, basically, he thought he was doing a good thing by hooking up with Sidwell, and then realized Sidwell wasn't a good person, and now he's stuck just like she is. So Laura kind of understands him more and realizes he's not just a dirt bag. He's stuck in there like she is. Martin came in. He was trying to ask Laura to go out to eat, and Laura was like, I can't do that right now. I'm busy. And then Tracy came in. Tracy was all covered in like, hay and all types of grass and stuff like that. And she was just mad. She said, look, I don't know who said that these helicopters come through and spook my horse. My horse I fell off the horse, this and that. And she was just like, you know what? This seems a little like corruption. And she was just like, I'm going to go complain to this judge and blah, blah, blah. She was like, we are not going to have this heliport in our area. So Tracy leaves. Now, here goes the thing. Laura and Ezra is talking, and Ezra is like, you know what? You got to make sure that thing goes through. If she complains, blah, blah, blah. Okay, first of all, Tracy said she was going to go to the judge and say and complain. Tell Sitwell to go over there and talk to that judge. And this shouldn't be on Laura. If he wants that thing so bad, Laura did her part. She put in a little paperwork or whatever. Now, Sitwell needs to go and do the other half. But I hope Laura can get from underneath his thumb. He is a pain in the butt, Sitwell. Anyway, we'll see what happens, but I'm sure Tracy is gonna cause a whole bunch of havoc with this. She's not gonna just let this thing go through smoothly. Cody came to see Molly. He had a whole basket of feel good stuff, blankets, this, candies, all types of stuff. And he just came over to tell Molly, look, I hope you're feeling better and stuff like that. At first, Molly was going to kick him out, but then she finally gave him the whole rundown of what her condition means. And then she was really scared because she was like, look, I probably cannot have kids, right? And she just thought Cody was going to run for the hills. But Cody was like, look, children were not in my few, he wasn't really thinking about having kids. He said, you know what, if it comes up, if he had kids, it'll be fine, but if he never has them, it's okay. He was like, Molly's enough. And, that was really sweet for him to say. And I'm glad that these two are together. And this was actually grown up conversation. We didn't have no wild outbursts. So I'm glad that Cody was understanding. And you know what? You never know what the cards hold. I really hope that there's some miracle baby that'll come into work. If you're gonna get somebody pregnant, let it be Molly. The other thing too is maybe maybe some baby, the stork will come and bring them a baby somewhere down the line, 2, 3 years down the line. Let's wait on this one. But yeah, I'm glad that Cody was really sweet about it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where their relationship goes. And I hope it keeps going on this track. They are grown ups. Let's not go back to that kitty stuff that they was doing before. But guys, what did you think was your favorite part of this episode and what was your least favorite? I would love to hear from you guys down in the comment section and to hit that bell notification and to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel. And thank you guys again for joining us at GHT time. Till next time, bye.